Viewer discretion is advised.
The alarm lights blared throughout the cold halls of Site-118, bathing everything in an oppressive red glow. Hollow steps rang out across the metal floor as site security officers ran to and fro. Gunfire and desperate screams for help echoed through the endless chambers, interrupted by monstrous roars, deafening as they passed. Siggy heard none of that, however. When she woke up, the first thing that Siggy noticed was the darkness and the dead silence. She summoned her wand and whispered. Instantly, the tip wand glowed with a bright light, enough to illuminate the room. There she saw her drawings, her posters, her nightlight, just as she left it. The doctors didn't touch a thing. Siggy had always wanted to be a part of the fantastic world of Harry Potter. With a flick of her wand, she summoned her hat. With another flick, her clothes transformed into Hogwarts uniform. It gave her newfound sense of bravery. With that, she was ready for an adventure outside of the suffocating cell. She ventured out in the dark hallways of Site-118. It was there in the darkness where she met another fellow resident whom she now called Robomonkey, an alliance between two anomalies against many more within Site-118. Hello everybody, I'm TheRubber. Today, we bring you a tale from the SCP Foundation. Siggy and Robomonkey were hungry, and food was amazingly sparse down here in the depths of the site, ever since that incident. They'd been living on scavenged goods for the past week, subsisting on nothing but chips and water every few days. And today was no different. Robo had broken yet another vending machine. They sat down around the dim light Siggy had casted on the wand and ate.
It's the doctors. You must wanna.
Interesting. So you, just want to see her?
Yeah, I just want to find her again. That's why I like the doctors so much. Lana's the best doctor in the world.
Is Lana your mom or something?
Siggy shook her head.
Lana says my mom died a long time ago, but she says that she'll be my doctor aunt instead, and I like that a lot. She said the other doctors try to keep her away from me because she visits me too much, but she used to find time to visit me sometimes.
You, miss her that much, huh?
Siggy nodded.
Well, let's find her.
Siggy perked up immediately.
Really?
Yeah, of course! That's what best friends do, right?
Siggy got on her knees and jumped forward, wrapping her arms around Robo, saying thank you. Robo smiled, patting her on the back.
Anytime, kid. Anytime.
Help me, a voice wailed in the distance. The two immediately froze, staring at each other as they started to listen. They heard a noisy breath down the hallway, followed by a nearly inaudible growl. Where are you? Siggy mouthed, the reality of their situation sinking in again. He pointed at her hand. Get your spells ready, he mouthed. Then he curled his hands and raised them over his head. I'll scare them. Siggy shook her head vehemently. No, she mouthed. Don't, you'll get hurt. Robo stuck out a thumbs up. Suddenly, the helmet that formed Robo's head morphed into the rotting head of a corpse, his body shrinking down to the dead body's emaciated proportions. His hands turned into claws, his face suddenly becoming infested with maggots. His left arm was gone at the elbow. It was, for all intents and purposes, a perfect recreation of one of the dead doctors in the dark hall.
Don't you sweat it! I'll be fine! Have you forgotten what I am? I was born to be scary and cause as much fear as I can. That's right. I'm what these guys used to call SCP-2006. But no longer. From now on, I'll just be known as Robomonkey the Terrible. I'll go scare whatever the hell is out there and come back.
Robo, stop! No!
Siggy mouthed urgently, but he ignored her. He creeped forward on unsteady legs, both of his arms drawn up to his sides in an attempt to look scary. He kept his steps silent. He didn't want to give away the surprise. Blood lined the floors of the hall outside, though they were pristine earlier. All of a sudden, Robo began to feel that something was very wrong. He clenched his loose jaw and continued on forward, mindful to keep his steps light on the floor. Ahead of him, he saw the beast. Its back turned to him. It stood on all fours, its skin looking more like a reddish film. It was long, hunched down over the ground, with what he guessed to be its head sniffing the floors. He saw the head as it lifted up with a silent creak, and he saw that it had no eyes. Spines lined its back, with small holes dotting each of them at the base. They seemed to move at random intervals with every second he looked at them. But what unsettled him was the lack of eyes, just flesh and bone where they're supposed to be. Then it turned its head to the side, unhinged its jaw, and out came the voice. "Help me," the creature screamed, its voice a horrible mix of a variety of people, all screaming the same few words. At that moment, Robo felt something that he had never felt before. He felt fear. He couldn't scare this. He never can. He took a step back, and another step, and another step. Slowly, silently, as he fell back to the cafeteria where Siggy waited. Then the creature sniffed the air and turned. Robo froze. He was only a few steps away from the cafeteria. If he can just get to the entrance, he can snatch Siggy and run as fast as his form's legs can take him. But then he looked forward, and the same petrifying horror went through him. The creature was slowly making its way towards him now. Head low, spines held high, red skin glinting in the dim light. Its teeth glowed crimson in the darkness, poking out of its mouth at different angles, long and deadly. "Help me," it screamed, far from the wails it had uttered earlier. "Please." Robo took another step back. "Where are you? Come to me." Just 2 more steps to the cafeteria. Then he stumbled and he fell, a thud sounding out on the floor. A terrible, critical mistake.
Run, Siggy!
Robo yelled, hoping that his voice will reach Siggy through the darkness. The creature screamed, its mimicry of its last victims turned into roars. Robo came to his feet immediately, running as fast as he could in the opposite direction of the cafeteria. He could hear the monstrous footfalls pounding the ground behind him, ear-piercing screams slicing through the air from the creature's outstretched mouth. He willed his legs to be faster, to reinforce with more muscle and sinew to spur him forward and leave it behind. He ran through the hall, past endless rooms, down dark corridors. Still in pursuit, screaming, crying, pleading for him to stop. Then he saw it, a room just to his left, a sign saying archives. He crashed through it with all of his might, bringing down his entire weight on the door. It gave way with a mighty crash, collapsing to the floor just as the creature went right past it, its momentum carrying it forward. Robo took the chance he needed to dive behind one of the desks on his right, making sure his body was small enough to not be seen. He felt his body slowly morphing back into his monkey form as it did. He waited. Was it gone? Then he heard them. Footfalls, heavy. He peeked from behind the desk, watching it as it came through the doorway. It was on 2 feet now, its spindly front limbs, not legs but arms, each tipped with 4 petrifyingly long claws. It sniffed the air, and with a long breath, it screamed, the outlines of its breath carrying an outline through the darkness. "Come to me!" He peeked out of where he was hiding. There was something lurking, spines in the air sniffing for him, hunting him. Then he saw, nearly imperceptibly, a sign of movement. There was a little girl, wearing a silly hat.
Robomonkey?
Robo heard Siggy's casting of the light spell, as well as the monster's footfalls, continuing almost certainly towards the girl outside. Robo immediately jumped out of cover. The beast was already in front of Siggy, hunching down, pacing right and left, as if studying its prey.
No! Run, Siggy!
As the light illuminated the beast's faceless head, its jaw opened wide, lined with sharp, long teeth, Siggy stumbled a few steps backward. "Help me!" A look of shock and confusion washed over her face.
Lana?
No, that thing ain't human. That ain't Lana. Run, Siggy!
The beast began to sprint forward towards Siggy.
Linus!
She pointed her wand at it and unleashed a flash of blinding beam that for a moment illuminated the surrounding horrors that befell the facility. The beam blasted the beast, causing it to twitch and yelp. Robo rushed towards Siggy and shielded her against the struggling beast. "Help me!" It screamed, now feeble. Then it was silence. The last voice Siggy could recognize as family was forever gone. Through the silence, Robo could hear Siggy's sobbles.
It's okay, kid. It's okay. You're safe now.
He could hear Siggy's choking and repeated muttering of Lana's name.
I killed Lana!
Robo pulled back, hands firmly gripping Siggy's shoulder.
No, Siggy, that thing's not Lana. It's not human at all. It's...
Siggy looked down, defeated. Robo then looked at the dead beast, then at the crying girl who couldn't stop staring at it with a blank expression. He realized that it was her first time using that spell.
I've never casted that spell before. Lana wouldn't let me.
I'm sorry, kid. You did what you had to do, Siggy. Now we've got to go.
Robo gently wiped her tears before picking up her wand, still lit, and gave it to her.
You're a strong girl, Siggy. You can do this.
Siggy wiped her face and took the wand, then sniffed one last time.
Okay, Robomonkey. Let's go on an adventure right out of here.